देख रहे हैं रिएक्शन चेक। Salam namaste, thank you so much for clicking on this video. As always, welcome to Reaction Check. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया इस वीडियो पे क्लिक करने का। अगर आप पहली बार इस वीडियो पे हैं तो welcome to the channel. I upload content almost every day and today's content is actually very special. ये हमारी आज़ादी से पहले की कुछ वीडियोस हैं जो British Broadcasting Centre ने actually रिकॉर्ड की थी from 1899 all the way up to 1947, and these are some of the videos that they have actually recolored, remastered, and presenting it to the people on online. And this beautiful video is called Indian Darbar. It was shot in 1938, filmed in Alwar, and the description of the video says, beautiful travelogue of Alwar Darbar, the rich and vivid spectacle of the Darbar held for Maharaja of Alwar is captured in gorgeous technicolor by Jack Cardiff in this travelogue. So I'm a big fan of traveling, and I wish I could have a time machine so that I can travel back in time and actually explore the things and places, how people were living without phones and without all this technology, how life was. It's something that one needs to actually experience to understand how we are living at the moment and how people were living during those times. Let's not waste any further time. Let's take a look at this video and see what we have, because I'm really excited to actually watch this one. Produced by ESS and KK Alva, directed by John Young. Oh, this goes on to tell you that the history of filmmaking itself is amazing.
In India, there is a region known as Rajputana, with many independent states, peopled by the Rajputs, one of the historic races of India. The annals of their history are a mine of feudal romance and gallantry. These states are ruled by dynasties of princes who have defied centuries of foreign domination. They are the most enlightened and the most chivalrous of the princes of India, and the British Empire has no firmer friends. 3 times a year, they hold a Darbar, or state reception, beginning with a colorful procession. The spectacle is eagerly awaited by the Maharaja's subjects, who treat this as a day of festivity in a land where old world custom and tradition still survive.
Look at the elephants. हाथी भी हैं, लोग भी बैठे हैं अपने महाराजा का इंतजार कर रहे हैं.
Under the canopy of the elephant-drawn coach sits the Maharaja, surrounded by his most privileged nobles, their jewels glittering in the strong, steady sunlight. The state elephants are heavily laden with priceless embroideries and wear age-old designs painted on their heads in obedience to Hindu ritual. And borne proudly aloft is one of the Maharaja's most treasured possessions, the state banner presented by Queen Victoria to a previous ruler. For these Indian princes, though independent, pay homage to the British throne. Slowly, the mile-long procession winds its way to the palace. Here, the Maharaja's bodyguard and his soldiers stand at attention. For though the old world may live in the ceremonial of an Indian Darbar, the armies of the princes are highly trained and equipped with modern weapons. Maharaja, in his silken raiment, gleaming with jewels, steps down.
क्या life है
He
यार
is
महाराजा
greeted by
की.
his ministers and nobles, clad in their richest robes, stiff with precious gems.
This is in 1938.
The Darbar opens with a religious ceremony performed by a Hindu priest, who ends by placing a garland of flowers round the prince's neck. This ritual is watched in impressive silence by the noble assembly.
You would always think that the Maharaja or king is always a huge person, huge human being who rules the entire nation. But here you can actually see a guy who's very small.
The Home Minister has the privilege of being the first to be received. After offering his symbolical gifts, he makes a circular movement of his arm, a ritual meant to ward off evil. The Maharaja pays a special courtesy to these, his most distinguished nobles, by standing for their reception. Other officials and dignitaries advance to offer him their gifts of salt, bread, rice, and coins, symbols of their homage and their loyalty. For in these states, the people still regard their feudal law as all-powerful, and they expect in return for their allegiance everything from good advice in the season of marriages to rain when the harvests are threatened by drought. And even the poorest among them can count on direct, personal access to his ruler.
This would happen
The armed force of the state
3
is
times a year.
represented by the commander-in-chief. Some of his many decorations were won on the battlefields of France and Flanders. For independent though these Indian princes are, they offer their swords and their armies in time of war to the King Emperor. He and his officers express their fidelity by presenting their swords to be touched by the prince. Throughout the day, the Darbar continues. The rigid ceremony is robbed of monotony by the dancing girls performing traditional songs and dances. Though each movement of the dance is known to the assembly, they are nevertheless held spellbound. For whilst we are only entertained by something new, the Oriental dwells and delights in the past.
Look at the cinematography that
Rich
they've
and
done.
vivid spectacle draws to its close.
This is
Once
absolutely
again, the
amazing
nobles and
filmmaking.
officials have expressed their loyalty to their prince. And once again, the people have seen the splendor of their state. Slowly, the Maharaja descends to his palanquin and is borne away to his private domain. terraces and courtyards separate the palace of the women, who live in seclusion, surrounded by every luxury of the East. Their days are spent in music and singing, and the marble halls echo with their gossip.
I wonder when you have nothing to do, how your life would be and what are the things that you'll be doing in your daily life. Or maybe you have something to do. We just don't know watching this film and how their lives were, but it's definitely something to
Night spreads her cloak over the
understand.
land, and the palace stands like a fairy castle against the blue velvet of the Indian sky. In this enchanting atmosphere, it is easy to lay aside the problems of the day and forget the outside world.
Well, if you've been following me for quite some time, you know that I love filmmaking and I love watching, nicely made videos, compiled videos. And this was shot in 1938. It's a film made in 1938 and absolutely amazing. जिस तरह से cinematography की गई है, जिस तरह से उसको narrate किया गया और जिस तरह से कुछ scene जो थे वो प्रेजेंट किए गए हमारे लिए ताकि हम उनको समझें और उनको देखें. The filmmaker did an absolutely amazing job. I really love this video, and there are a lot of other videos, old videos that are out there for me to actually watch, and it's about before partition, during partition, whatever Hindustan was before India Pakistan partition. That is something that we need to actually watch and understand how it was. It may be a perspective that the Britishers were trying to give out to the people that were living in the UK at that time, but definitely it's something that we can learn from our past. आप मुझे बताइए आपकी वीडियो कैसी लगी. I absolutely love this video. हमेशा की तरह अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा. अगली वीडियो तक के लिए सलाम, टाटा, goodbye and adios.